Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the Winners and Losers, where we catch up on the last week of football and go through two winners and two losers. In our opinion, can be players, managers, teams, owners, anything of that sort. And welcome back, Shitij, to the episode. What do you have to say about the last week of football?
It's always good, man. Every weekend is good. Even sometimes games that you expect a whitewashing, and they just deliver sometimes. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. Don't worry.
Definitely, definitely. And for those of you who are FPL players, do check out Darshil's news show. He's going to be coming out with a video every week with some of his opinions, analyses on FPL picks for the week. So make sure to check that out, and of course, subscribe to the channel and drop a like if you're loving this show so far. But starting
Also,
with
no spoiler. Two of the players the Shield picked, but actually really did very well in the weekend. So you know what? Just
yeah,
go check out the videos, man.
you need to know what to do for next week and who to captain. So make sure to check that out. But let's go straight ahead on to our first winner. Kshitij, do the honors and name your first winner.
No, it's Mr. Brexit himself, Sean
Uh,
Dyche, and no secrets, no secrets. Actually, wait, just a minute, man. Just a minute. Are we Are we talking about Burnley or Everton here?
Let's go. Dwight
Tarkowski
McNeil with
scoring
the
from a header.
corner. Tarkowski scoring it for Everton to take the win against Arsenal. Wow.
No. That's amazing. Oh, I mean, it was like, obviously, it was amazing to see Arsenal lose. Although I want them to win the league, but, their fans needed to calm down a bit. So it was good to see, good to see. But Everton, I think, was simply brilliant. I mean, what do you think how do you think this could impact Everton's season and also Arsenal to some extent?
I mean, as we've seen recently, man, the new manager bounce, it's a thing. I don't know what it is, but it's really a thing. And Sean Dyche has proven his quality in the past, and I think this is just the thing Everton needed. I think was it Doucouré he started having not featured for Everton in a really long time, and he really bossed that midfield and really Arsenal struggled that game to kind of get past Everton. And I mean, good times, good times. Maybe this is the turning point. I mean, they're still an 18th point, Everton, in the relegation zone with just a little under half of the league yet to go. But I think they're going to be comfortable. I think they're going to get a good run of games and be comfortably away from the relegation zone when it comes to, say, game week 30, 35.
Comfortable, like
Uh,
sure. I mean, I'm not doubting them. I'm just like wondering, looking at where they are in the table, and like, yeah, I know the new manager bounce and all, but
mhm.
like, you think this could last throughout, like, all the way till the end of the
I
season?
mean, I'm just saying, relatively compared to the position they've been in, there's of course a lot of teams in a really tight spot down there with Nottingham FC, Leeds FC, all of them really fighting to get out of the relegation zone. But I think if they put in a few good results over the next 6 or 7 weeks, they could find themselves at least 5 points out of the relegation zone for the time being. And we always knew they have the quality it takes to avoid that relegation compared to some of the other squads. So I think they just need to kind of get focused, work under their new manager, and show that they have what it takes to stay in the Premier League. I mean, it's Everton we're talking about.
Yeah, no, it's a massive club, and they also beat a massive, massive club over the weekend. And I think beating the league leaders is never easy, and Arsenal have been exceptional this season. So I think they can take a lot of positives from that result.
Definitely, definitely. Anyways, that's our first winner for the day. Let's move to the losers, and pretty big losers with the given news that's coming out over the last few days. Manchester City with their 100 plus sanctions and 100 plus complaints being coming out. I mean, we all know what's have been hearing this news recently about 100 complaints, a lot of sanctions, possibly Premier League titles being stripped off. What's going on at Manchester City?
Yeah, no, it's all chaotic, since like Cancelo and like erratic results. And let's not get away from the point. Let's not forget these sanctions. Yeah, whatever they are, they lost to Spurs over the weekend. I mean, like Spurs, man. Like that's actually the game we were talking. I expected Spurs to lose. I know City haven't won at the new stadium, at the new Tottenham stadium, but I expected Spurs to absolutely lose big time. But obviously, it was a good performance from Spurs. It's not about them. The sanctions. I mean, it's mad. Obviously we're not lawyers, any of us, so I don't know exactly how it is. City have gotten away with it before, UEFA. I don't know how concrete the Premier League allegations are, but there's 100 plus, and I feel like if it's coming out now, then the Premier League's bringing it out. So I feel like there must be some proof to
Mhm.
it, some sort of you know evidence to back it. Hopefully, obviously, I would love to see City go back to where they belong in in like the EFL competitions, not the Premier League stuff, like that's who they are, man. That's who they are. And bring bring them titles, man. Bring them titles. Oli and Jose get the title. Sir Alex gets another one. Bring it on, bring it on. No
Mhm.
Aguero moment. Aguero, no.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
it's all jokes.
it's
It's all jokes.
it's of course Pep. It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to come out and say in his press conference this week. But yeah, just I think there, when it comes to the sanctions, it's been mainly across a few categories, ranging from not being transparent with their profit and loss accounts, rerouting funds in terms of investments and profits, because apparently they have shown a high revenue compared to clubs like Liverpool and Manchester United, and we're talking about Manchester City, with who have a much smaller fan base compared to some of these big clubs. So yeah, a lot of shady stuff happening, a lot of legal work that the common man's probably not going to understand too much, but we just want to see where this is going to roll out.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, even more than Barca and Real, I think the last year or last 2 years, I think they've shown more revenue than the biggest clubs in the world. And look, we agree they've been doing well on the pitch, but let's not forget it. The legacy of some of these clubs, they can't be compared. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal. These are mammoth-sized clubs. City's been around for 10, 12 years, I think. Yes, no disrespect, they've been around for a longer time than that, but I mean in terms of relevance. And you can't tell me they're earning more than these clubs. There's definitely something wrong. It's just about whether it can be proved legally,
Indeed,
and that's
indeed.
what this whole thing is about.
Of course, the suspicion is that a lot of funds are being rerouted from, say, shell companies, if you would call them, as a form of investments from actually originating from the owners themselves. But I mean, this is just what we're hearing. None of this is what we're claiming. But let's move on to our losers. I mean, our next winners for today's show. And Shitij, who are our next winners?
Our next win is Steve Cooper's Nottingham Forest, and wow, I mean, at the start of the season, everyone calling them the next Fulham, but now, at least recently, they've been doing really well, and they've put themselves to 13th place, 6 points above the drop zone, unbeaten in the last 5 Premier League games, picking up 3 wins in that time. What do you think, Ankur, about this team?
I mean, not to mention they were bottom place after 14 games in the Premier League, and I think it's just been 7 or 8 games since. And to make a climb of 7 positions in that span, it's an incredible job from the manager. I mean, they were under a tremendous amount of pressure following the summer they had spending. Was it over two? How much money did they spend? It was
I
some
don't know. I
16
just know they had
signings.
like the most signings.
Yeah, I heard that some of these signings were because a lot of players' contracts were out, a lot of players left, and some of them were very necessary signings. But of course, it doesn't play well when you spend on that many players and you're at bottom of the Premier League. So it's nice to see Steve Cooper kind of pull that team together and put in some results. Most recently against Leeds, a 1-0 win with Brennan Johnson scoring the winner. But yeah, they also signed Keylor Navas now, so maybe Nottingham are here to stay, and let's see where it goes from here on.
Yeah, and Navas had a man of the match performance, by the way, so it's already looking like a decent signing. Obviously, it's only one game in, but he made some important saves there.
I mean, let's talk about the team they faced, Leeds FC, who are actually where our next losers from. Jesse Marsch. Jesse Marsch just got fired after signing Weston McKinney and playing one game as manager, managing one more game for Leeds. And he's been fired now. Leeds find themselves in 17th place with 18 points after 20 games. Where has it gone wrong?
I don't know actually. I feel like it's the wrong decision. That's just my opinion. I don't think I think things like in terms of results, it looks worse than it was.
Mhm.
They're winless in the last 7 Premier League games, out of which they lost 4 of those games. So yes, it does look bad on paper, but I think they had a few difficult fixtures, to be honest, and they played well in most of them. I think the only issue was creating chances. They really do well to press the teams, get the ball forward, play progressive football. But at the same time, they struggle to create any concrete chances, and that's what has been their kryptonite this season so far under Jesse Marsh.
Mhm.
But I still feel like it wasn't that bad. I think they had a tough run in, and even some of the games they lost, they were very unlucky to lose them. So I don't
Definitely.
know. I don't know what the Leeds board are thinking. I don't know. What do you think about the Leeds board just sacking him so quickly? Like,
I mean, you need balls to make that decision, right? You finding your team in 17th place is not the best choice, and sometimes getting a new manager, a fresh start, helps you kind of survive in the current season. And let's forget about what's going to happen 2 seasons from now. The main concern is staying in the Premier League for them now, and that is probably what the owners went with in terms of their decision making. But of course, Jesse Marsh has struggled in the UK, right? The media's put him under a significant amount of scrutiny for just being American, and it comes back to the point that it's horrible to see how the British media treat British players, British managers against foreign players and foreign managers, and even their replacement coach is now Chris Armas, who is Ralph Ragnick's assistant coach, and they're facing United now 2 games back to back, and it will be very interesting to see how that goes.
yeah, no, I think as a United fan, I hated playing against teams coming up with like a manager recently sacked because there's always
Mhm.
chance of new manager bounce. I know Chris Amos is just interim, but still, I absolutely hate it. And you never know what can happen. They could be inspired. The previous players would be trying to prove themselves.
Mhm.
But yeah, as you said, like about the media and Jesse Marsh, and I feel like, yeah, I think it's a bit unfair, this sacking, especially like given the point in the season.
Mhm.
I think like it was just 7 games, and I know they're like very close to the relegation zone. They're like level on points with Everton, just one position above with the game in hand. But I don't know. I feel like it was just very unlucky because I watch a lot of Leeds games because I like the way Jesse Marsh put out his teams, and since like Marcelo Bielsa's time actually. I like the way they play, and I don't know. I just felt a bit sad when like I saw because Jesse Marsh is a very likable character as well. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, those have been our 2 winners, 2 losers for today. It's been the Footy Myths, and maybe Kshitij, you want to sign off today?
no man, I think it'll just be good. We can all celebrate for now. City's allegations, all the Premier Leagues we're getting. United fans. For now, I don't know how much will be proven or not. But yeah, I mean, honorable mention to Wolves who won Liverpool. Thanks for beating Liverpool. Good stuff out there. Also, I guess Brentford picking up good points as well. They're doing very well. I think if they win Arsenal, we'll put them in the winners next week. So
Definitely.
stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know if Ivan Toney's going to be there, but Brentford are definitely going to be playing Arsenal. But more on that next week. So catch us next week for the next episode of Winners and Losers. And have a good one till then and enjoy the next week of football. Peace out.